Joining me now is the independent senator from Vermont, Bernie Sanders. He's the chair of the Senate Health, Education, Labor, and Pensions Committee. Senator, welcome to you. Good to see you. Thank you for being with us again.
My pleasure.
Last time you and I talked, it was before Kamala Harris has unveiled some of her economic policies, her economic agenda. Now we're seeing some of it. What sticks out to you the most?
Well, I think she is absolutely right to emphasize the housing crisis in America. And frankly, we in Congress have been behind the curve on this issue all over the country. In Burlington, Vermont, Los Angeles, California, people cannot afford housing. We got 650,000 people who are homeless. You got large corporations buying up housing, jacking up rents. So the idea of constructing 3 million units in the next 4 years of affordable housing, low-income housing, I hope senior housing, absolutely a step in the right direction. Furthermore, expanding on what the Biden administration has done in lowering the cost of prescription drugs is enormously important. We should not in America be paying, in some cases, 10 times more for the same prescription drugs as the Canadians do or people in Europe. So expanding the number of drugs that will be negotiated by Medicare is an important step forward. And I'll tell you something else. As you'll remember, Ali, in the American Rescue Plan, we cut childhood poverty by 40% by establishing a $300 per child tax credit. Cut childhood poverty by 40%. It expired after 1 year. She wants to make that tax credit permanent, have a huge impact on working parents all over this country. Exactly the right thing to do.
Project 2025, one of the things it does is it could make the inequalities in our healthcare system worse because it's creating more obstacles for lower-income Americans to access healthcare. This isn't just bad policy. This wanders well into the realm of cruelty. Senator?
I can't hear.
Oh, yeah. Okay.
You're right. It does. Look, as you and I have discussed on many occasions, the United States is the only major country on earth not to guarantee health care to all people as a human right. And yet we are spending twice as much per capita on health care. What the right wing wants to do, believe it or not, is make it harder for people to access health care rather than do what every other major country does, guarantee health care to all people. As a result of their policies, we're talking about millions and millions of people losing the health care that they have.
Senator, I want to continue the conversation with you. I just want to make sure that everything's okay with your audio, and we have to take a quick break because we got to pay the bills. So we'll be back in just a moment after we do that. Bernie Sanders, independent. Back with me, Bernie Sanders, independent senator from Vermont. Senator, one thing I thought was interesting thematically all through the convention were these discussions, the sort of the pride that Republicans were taking in capping of insulin for seniors, the copay on insulin, talking about, spreading that to other drugs, discussions like that. Obviously, you and I have been talking about this for a long time. It's a no-brainer, but it's fun to see how much it's been popularized, right? The idea of things that are in no way radical, in no way socialist, in no way communist, they're actually good for business, good for longevity, good for quality of life, are now being embraced by the mainstream within the Democratic Party.
All right. Ali, if you don't tell anybody, let me tell you a big secret, but don't tell anybody. All right? And that is that virtually all of the progressive ideas are enormously popular. It may not be liked by the billionaire class or the corporate media, but they are enormously popular. For example, should we expand Social Security benefits by $2,400 a year by lifting the cap on taxable income so billionaires pay their fair share? Widely popular. Over 70% American people support that. Should we lower the cost of prescription drugs by half in America so we don't pay more than other countries? 70% of the American people support that. Should we expand Medicare to cover dental, hearing, and vision? Over 70% of the American people support that. Should we raise the minimum wage to a living wage? Widespread support for that. So the big secret is the stuff that we are fighting for, to give a break to the middle class and working families of this country, to try to take on massive income and wealth inequality. where 3 people own more wealth than the bottom half of American society. All of those are popular ideas. So when she talks about prescription drugs, and by the way, the Biden administration, first administration really, to have the guts to take on pharma, it is enormously popular.
Now, Joe Biden did say a couple times, we finally beat Big Pharma. Now, I'm on Joe Biden's side on this thing, as I know you are. I'm not convinced it's done yet. In other words, we've demonstrated what can be done. If you let the government and you let Medicare negotiate prices like other governments do, we've demonstrated what can be done. We've done it for some of the most popular and expensive drugs in America. But in fact, this can be done for all drugs.
Absolutely. Look, as you may remember, I made a trip from Detroit into Windsor, Ontario.
Yeah.
In fact, we bought insulin for 1/10 the price. It's true in many of the drugs. Right now, we are taking on Novo Nordisk, who are charging us for Ozempic by far the highest prices in the world.
Yep.
And if we don't get a handle of it, it's going to bankrupt Medicare. So you're right. We've made a very good start. We've got a lot more work to do.
Senator, let me ask you about how you felt about the big tent nature of the convention last week. There were Republicans, there were border guards, there were progressives. There were progressives like you who were able to say things. While there's controversy about not letting a Palestinian American speak, you were amongst the handful of speakers who mentioned Gaza and were met with applause. It did demonstrate the idea that everybody doesn't have to be ideologically on the same page about everything to be part of a movement.
Look, Ali, I think that's exactly right. I think there is a widespread understanding in this country, whether you're an honest conservative Republican who does not want to see the cult of personality dominating America, doesn't want to see the undermining of democracy in America, or a progressive, as I am and others are, to come together with the immediate task of making certain that Donald Trump, the most dangerous candidate in the history of this country, somebody who lies outrageously every single day, somebody who actually wants to move this country into an authoritarian society. We are all united in defeating him. Now, the day after the election, there are going to be differences of opinion. I am not a conservative Republican. But I think on this issue, I respect those conservative Republicans who are standing up for democracy. So at the end of the day, after Kamala Harris wins, we're going to have a real good debate, continue that debate about the direction of America under a democratic society. So today we are all united to make sure that Trump is defeated, and that's enormously important. I'm going to do everything that I can to see that that happens.
Senator, good to see you. Thank you for joining us again this morning. Independent Senator Bernie Sanders of Vermont.